You are welcome to the last tutorial in the series of tutorials I'm organizing for this semester. And today I'm talking about the sentence structure. We did sentences all right. We did sentences by structure, sentences by function. But there are a few questions that I think I might bring your way as preparation for tomorrow's paper. So let's go straight to the point. The sentence by structure and function. We know that a sentence is a words that has a subject and a predicate and makes a complete thought. But then we can divide sentences into two broad categories. Categories. We have sentences by function and sentences by structure. Sentences by function deals with things like whether it is a statement or whether it is a question or whether it is an exclamation or a command or order. So the sentence which is a statement is normally called the declarative. Technically, declarative. It has a subject which comes before the verb and it ends in a full stop. Basically, that is how you see every declarative statement. A declarative sentence, which is a statement. Examples here we have: he is the first president of Ghana. Amma ate the food. I did not write a letter. Okay. So all these are statements, or what we may call a declarative type of sentence construction. But then, so let's now then we move to the interrogative. The interrogative is question. They are normally questions. Interrogative normally ends in a question mark. There may be not always. This will include all type of questions and rhetorical questions if possible. Can we go? Will you go? Did they work hard? Did they work hard? All these are questions. The imperative. This particular type, the characteristics of this is that the subject most of the time is not visible. The subject is implied, so you cannot see a subject, even though it is a sentence. All right, sit down, sit, do sit down. Let me go. Let me not go. All these are sit down, go, sit. They are all imperatives. They give command or order. Exclamation to express emotion or surprise. Exclamation, the technical term is exclamatory. Exclamatory. That's a term. If you have a declarative, interrogative, imperative, then this one, the corresponding term is what? Exclamatory. Is to express emotion or surprise. To express emotion or surprise. Normally ends with an exclamation mark. Normally. What a splendid performance. What a beautiful baby. Did they sing well? Did they sing well? It's a question, and at the same time, an exclamation. And this flower is beautiful. Okay, and the sentences by structure. We have a simple sentence. Simple sentence is made up of one idea, which is made up of actually one clause, which is one verb and each subject. One verb and each subject. Birds fly. went to the market to buy some items for the sisters. Look at this. Here you can see two verbs here, went to and to buy. But remember that to buy is not a main clause. Buy here is not a main clause. The only main clause here is went. Sorry, it's not a main verb. It's not a main verb. It's a kind of infinite. It's a non-finite verb, to buy. The verb which is the main verb here is went, and the it subject is he. Therefore, if you are asked to identify this particular sentence, it is not a compound sentence. It's not a compound sentence. It's a simple sentence. It's a simple sentence. Very good. Kofi and Amma went to the farm near the mountain to collect firewood. Here, I told you that a sentence which is a simple sentence can have a compound subject. And that doesn't make it a complex story, a compound sentence. Here, the only main verb here is went. Went. And as we saw above, to collect is a non-finite. It doesn't have its own subject, so it's not a main verb. For a particular sentence to be called a compound sentence, it must have two main verbs, if possible, each with its subject. As you can see in this case, the sentences here are all simple sentences. If you have a difficulty about this, you can WhatsApp or call me. Then a simple sentence. See, she gave the food to Kofi and Amma. The fact that we have Kofi and Amma here doesn't make this particular sentence a compound sentence. It's not that we have a compound object. We have a compound object. Compound object. But that doesn't make the sentence a compound sentence. The compound sentence itself now, two or more sentences joined by coordinate conjunctions. Two or more simple sentences. If you like, let's make it more specific. Simple sentences. Simple sentences joined by coordinate conjunctions. Now, these coordinate conjunctions have we use it to form an acronym, or if you like, let's call it as an acronym. Fanboys, where F stands for E for and, N for no, B for bet, O for all, Y for yet, and S for so. I did not eat the food, for it was morally wrong. You can see that after for, you have a full clause or a full sentence. It was morally wrong. Eat one piece and you will be fine. After and you can have a full clause or full sentence. You will be fine. It's a full sentence. So you can see that in this case, we have one sentence to the left, one to the right. So you can see clearly. Each of it can be on their own separately if you want to disintegrate the sentences. She did not eat the food, nor did she take her bath. Okay, he did not eat the food. He did not eat the food, nor did he take his bath. He did not eat the food, nor did he take his bath. So in each case, we can see that we can have a full simple sentence to the right of the conjunctions and to the left of the conjunctions. Amma went to the market, so Amma went to the shop, but did not buy anything. It's a compound sentence. I'll become a lecturer or I'll go abroad, which could be simplified as I will become a lecturer or go abroad. In this case, see that there is a verb after all. There is a verb after all. It's the number of verbs that determine whether something is a construction is simple or compound. Remember that this is a full form. The full form is here. He is not strong yet. He likes starting a fight. I study hard so I can pass the exam. All these are what? Compound sentences. It's also possible for us to have 2 or 3 clauses or put together, or 2 or 3 simple sentences brought together as a compound sentence. He gave me money and I spent it, but I forgot to thank him. These we have 3 different simple sentences or clauses joined together. Remember that the definition for compound sentences that we have 2 or more simple sentences brought together. So the fact that we have 3 ideas joined here is not something that is strange. Remember also that we can have the semicolon being a connector of 2 ideas. Man proposes, God disposes. This is a compound sentence joined by a semicolon. A semicolon can connect 2 ideas as a compound sentence. Let's talk about a complex sentence. One main clause plus 1 or more subordinate clauses joined by a subordinating conjunction. Unlike in the case of the compound sentence where you can see one clause on the right, one clause on the left. In the complex sentence, the subordinate clause must always carry along the subordinate conjunction, so that the subordinate conjunction is not left in the middle with the main clause on the left-hand side and the subordinate clause on the right-hand side. No. So if you see this one, I'll go to Accra if he agrees. If must be with one of the clauses. It must go along with it. It must be a constituent of one of the clauses. It cannot just be left alone in the middle. Why? How do we get this? We get this when we change the position of the main and the subordinate clauses. You can see that if the conjunction if goes with this one, if he agrees, I'll go to Accra. Very good. There are cases where the subordinate clause can be in the middle of the main clause. The man who entered the room is my father. Here, the subordinate clause is who entered the room. And the main clause will be the man is my father. That is a way. Otherwise, we should construct this as the man is my father who entered the room. The man is my father who entered the room. But this won't work because who entered the room should be close to the man to modify it. So you can see that when we reconstruct this, the man who entered the room is my father. So that subordinate clause comes to split the main clause. You may not see this in exam, but I need to explain it just to explain. Then let's look at this one too. She entered the room when it was raining because the weather was cold. Now you see that he said we can have one main clause plus two plus one or more. Here is the case where we have one main clause plus two sub clauses. She entered the room is a main clause. When it was raining, it's a subordinate clause because the weather was cold. So the weather was cold, sorry. The weather was cold. It's another sub clause. So here you have an example of a main clause plus two subordinate clauses. I don't know why we can have three subordinate clauses. Now, so this is just by the way, we did sentences in class extensively. This just to, as a way, help you to revise for some key points that can help you to answer the questions in the class in the examination more satisfactorily. So now let's look at one or two questions. Which functional type of sentence is what a splendid performance? So the answers are provided here. You got to try to be able to get your answer. I'll not help get your answer here. Yet this is another question. What sentence type by function has implied subject? What sentence type by function has implied subject? They have implied subject. The answers are here. Now, but let's use this particular passage to answer some few questions. Read the passage and answer the questions that follow. When we entered the town, the whole place was empty. We could hardly see anyone outside. The streets, once lively and filled with chatter, now echoed with silence. Even the dogs, usually barking at strangers, were nowhere to be found. Was this a warning, just an unusual quiet? As we moved cautiously forward, a single door creaked open in the distance. Without speaking, we glanced at each other, our steps slowing, our senses alert. Now, so this is a passage, and based on the passage, some few questions follow, which are actually about the structure of sentence structure. So look at it. What type of construction is sentence one? Sentence one. When we entered the town, the whole place was empty. What type of sentence is it? Is it a simple sentence? Is it a phrase? Is it a subordinate clause? Is it a complex sentence? Number two. What type of construction is number five? Was this a warning or just an unusual quiet? A simple sentence and an equation. A compound sentence and an equation. A complex sentence and an equation. A compound complex sentence and equation. Based on what you discussed, what I explained a while ago, you should be able to answer this question. Then the last one, what clause type is this? As you moved cautiously forward, a simple sentence, a complex sentence, a subordinate clause, a compound sentence, try to go through, review the questions, select your answers before you look for the answers on the last slide until the exam is over. I'll be available. If you have any questions to ask me, you can feel free to do so by my WhatsApp. Thank you very much.